Matthew, and welcome to episode 23 of the Mandala of Life, 365 Days to Self-Discovery. Today we're going to move away from individual energy and dive back into the collective with the Gate 16. The Gate 16 is all about enthusiasm and learning skills. It's about discovering whether you want to bring something to mastery, and also finding that thing that makes your heart sing. It's about discovering your own potential and talent. Last week we talked about the Gate 20, which is individual energy and talks to the idea of finding your own voice in the now. Now we're shifting to collective logic, which is all about patterns and predicting the future based on the patterns that exist. The Gate 16, also called enthusiasm and the Gate of skills, is found in the throat center and says, I experiment. But before we get into new content, let's briefly go over what we talked about in the last episode. In the last episode, we talked about the Gate 20, how it's special in that it's one of the three oppositions, and also how it's special because it's part of the integration circuit, which means it has the potential to connect to several different gates to make a full channel. The talent for the Gate 20 is to be able to see everything in this present moment, to see the world in the now. It is considered the only existential gate in human design, and carries within it the potential for charisma, leadership, and also a unification energy. The voice of the Gate 20 shifts based on what it's attached to or what channel it's forming. When it combines with the Gate 10, it talks to awakening. When it combines to the Gate 57, there's potential for awareness in the moment. And when it combines with the 34, there's potential for charisma. And if you want more information on the Gate 20, please check out episode 22, the Gate 20. With that said, let's get into today's topic, the Gate 16. And don't forget, there are a lot more episodes in the Mandala of Life that provide a wealth of information. This is the fifth gate in the quarter of civilization, where purpose is fulfilled through form, which means through manifestation into the Maya. The Gate 16 is one more throat gate and one more voice of manifestation. It's projected energy and also half of the channel of talent. As I said before, we're moving from individual energy that comes from the throat that talks to empowerment of the self, which leads to empowerment of others. Now we're moving into logic, collective energy. The key word for collective energy is always about sharing. The channel of talent, or the 1648 channel, talks to the concept of having a talent that you decide to bring to some level of mastery. People who carry this energy can have a tremendous amount of talent, but the talent that they have is something that they still have to work to master it, to become the best in their field. This is also projected energy. What that means is that it needs to be called out of you or invited out of you for you to get the best response to what you have to say. The Gate 16 connected to the Gate 48, which is also called the Gate of Depth, where the Gate 16 is all about enthusiastically finding something new to do and finding a talent. The Gate 48 is a part that decides to bring it into mastery. A good writer can draw you into a story so you get to literally feel what the main character feels. And before you know it, you're so deeply immersed in the story that the world outside no longer matters. And for a little while, you're transported into the mind of the writer, experiencing everything they've envisioned and maybe things that they haven't envisioned, because every story comes through our own personal lens. To say words have energy is really an understatement. All you need to do is read a negative comment or even a positive text from somebody, and suddenly your mood can change. And that's kind of what the Gate 16 can do. It can completely change your mood, and when it's on, it's all about excitement that can quite literally change the energy in a room. Now, to those who are in tune with this shift in energy, it heightens their mood like an energetic wave that has you believing in good things. Found in the throat center, the energy from the Gate 16 comes from the voice, and it can't be faked. It's enthusiasm or it's apathy. The Gate 16 has a definite potential to have sales as well, or have sales energy. But unlike the Gate 26, where it can be about selling things that you don't necessarily believe in, this energy is all about being authentic and having a true belief in what you're selling or what you're saying. And like I said before, this energy is usually off or it's on. There isn't an in-between. In its highest expression, it can be about people wanting to jump on board whatever you're proposing, because it's difficult to resist the push of excitement that comes like a force of nature when you're in the mood and you're excited. And most times it's less about what you say and more about how people feel in your enthusiasm. On the low side, this is about so much positivity and eagerness that there can be a rush to the finish line without really doing much preparation. This energy can be all about somebody who's an instant expert. Somebody can read one book on a specific subject and they immediately feel that they know everything about that subject. And a lot of people will consider themselves an expert when the gate 16 gets out of hand and actually doesn't do the depth or really get into the details or the real deep work of having to learn something or in any way to become an expert. It can be all about getting carried away with an idea, just imagining that everything will just work itself out without really having to put any work in or to hammer out any details for what you want to work. So the preparation part may not necessarily be done, but the expectation is that it's just all going to fall in place is definitely there. And this lack of planning ahead or researching what you're doing or really making any sort of a game plan is really how the gate 16 can get tripped up. Because many times when someone gets lost in the excitement, they forget to do the work and they end up not building the foundation that's necessary for all things that come into being. The key with this energy is to look at it as an uncut diamond. You can see the potential in anything that you're going to bring into being, but you also have to remember that unless you take the time to learn, to research, to study, you can't really cut the diamond perfectly, and all the beautiful facets that are found within the stone will never be realized because you will not have put the time and effort needed to make it as beautiful as it can be. Ultimately, there can be a feeling of apathy, one that's so overwhelming that it's difficult really to get excited about anything, where you can get to the point where you feel powerless and really there's no point to start or do anything because nothing's going to ever really work out and it's too much effort to actually make anything happen in your world. And when this theme plays out, it's like every day that goes by becomes rote, where one day comes after the other and you don't even try and find something that makes your heart sing. You know, that thing that will nudge your enthusiasm out of you because you don't have the time. And before you know it, life slips away, where you no longer even look for that thing that you shine at, or what most people will call your talent. And yes, we all have a talent of some kind. Just like humans, talents are diverse. You can't be good at everything, but you can definitely be good at something. And when we find that thing, we can work with it and we can become masters. As Malcolm Gladwell wrote in his book, The Outliers, we can put in our 10,000 hours and we can become masters. And when you find your talent, and you will, it's not about being better than anyone else because it's not about comparing. It's all about doing that thing that really, really makes you feel amazing and makes you want to keep doing it because it inspires you and you want to get better at it and you have the passion to get better at it. And like I said before, the idea that you're not good at anything might rattle around in your head, but don't let it stop you because as soon as you start to really look for something that makes you feel happy when you do it, then it doesn't matter what the voice says in your head. You're doing it, you're enjoying it, and your passion is connected to your talent and nothing can stop you. And like I said, talents come in all shapes and sizes. It could be a talent for putting makeup on. It could be a talent for lining up wallpaper on a wall. It could be a talent for cleaning. It could be a talent for karaoke. It could be a talent for anything. It doesn't matter what it is as long as when you do it, you're happy and you just want to get better and better at doing it. And if there's one thing that I can say, make sure that whatever talent you find is something that you want for yourself. Because there's always going to be people who say, oh, you know, you're good at this or you're good at that. And why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? But you might be good at something, but you don't have the passion. You don't want it to be your talent because you don't care about it enough to really put the energy and the effort into making it better. But that's where the difference is when you find it as opposed to someone else telling you what you're good at. So when you find out what you're good at and you want to work with it, that's the key to doing something that makes you yourself happy, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And when you find that thing, it's like your passion will explode and suddenly you're just lost in enthusiasm. And of course, there's going to be times when hard work is going to be asked for, and it may be frustrating sometimes because not everything's going to work out exactly as you want it to when you're trying to improve. But When you see the fruits of your labor and that all those times that you've been working to make it better have actually made you better or allowed you to master something, then it's going to be all worthwhile. And not only is there potential for others to feel that same enthusiasm and excitement, but you could potentially, without even trying, inspire people around you to understand their place in the world. And by finding your talent and your bliss, maybe they'll want to do the same thing. With the amount of people that is comparing themselves to everybody else and aimlessly looking for that thing that really, they feel like they're meant to do or their place in the world, finally to find that kind of energy or to find that place in the world is so satisfying to not only you, but also to the people that are inspired by you. We can look at the story of the legend of Bagger Vance, where the main character, Junya, a traumatized alcoholic war hero, decides to play golf in a tournament. In the beginning, he only has raw talent and a lot of unwillingness to work into making his game better. But when Bagger Vance, a mysterious caddy, starts to guide him, he finds a passion within himself.
And remember,
it's too long ago.
Oh no, sir, it was just a moment ago.
I can't.
Yes, you can. But you ain't alone. I'm right here with you. Now play the game. Your game. The one that only you was meant to play. The one that was given to you when you come into this world.
Now, we all don't have a Bagger Vance to show us the way, but we do have ideas. We do have things that maybe we're bumbling around in our head and we're saying, oh, I'd like to try that. So then maybe we should just go out and try it and see if you like it. And if it is something that you like, then fine. And if it is something that you don't like, at least you've tried and you can move on. And as they said in the movie, you'll find your authentic swing, or the thing that really makes you who you are. And through that talent, you find that authentic part of you that allows yourself to be exactly who you are and to do exactly what makes you feel good. And the interesting part that I found about the story of Bagger Vance is that Stephen Pressfield, the author, in fact has a gate 16 defined in his own body graph. So I guess he knows what it feels like to have excitement or to find your talent and also your purpose in this world. Whatever that is, big or small, doesn't matter because it's yours. Logical energy speaks to patterns and also the ability to repeat over and again so mastery can be achieved. What begins as enthusiasm and excitement can result in talent. It can be artistic talent or even a talent for life. But first and foremost with this energy is a need to share with the collective, as all collective energy does. But here, sharing requires someone to acknowledge your talent or see you for who you are and what you can do. And when that happens, you can be recognized for the great talent that you have. And the mandala of life once again turns, and then we get to a different type of collective energy called abstract collective energy, where logic is always looking to the future and the patterns repeating. Abstract energy always looks to the past and the experiences that we've had and how they can be shared with the collective. The Gate 35 talks to the idea of having something that's worthwhile doing. Unlike its harmonic, the Gate 36, this energy takes their time and decides exactly where they want to go and what they want to experience. And if they deem something not worthwhile doing, they just won't. Here lies another talent, a talent for just being good at a lot of things. This is called progress and also the gate of change. This is the voice that says, I feel. Well, that's all for now, and I'll be back soon with episode 24, the Gate 35. Until then, take care, and I'll see you soon.